Welcome to Channel AMAC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once we have all the updates and news, be the first one getting all the insight. Now, today's video, I would like to talk about a topic over the years, not just recent years, but over the past 10-20 years of my visa specialist practice, we have been constantly and frequently being asked or query in regards a new policy, perhaps a more quota or whatever the new policy is coming up. Does it actually equals a more relaxed of the migration law? Now, the answer to this is not much of yes, but more certain of no. But why is it making a policy tightened and there are still more people or more quota, annual quota is given to the migration sector? There has been a way that people had envisioned that for example, they compare to a lot of different countries. For example, the U.S. and Canada. For obviously, U.S. provide about millions numbers of quota for migrants every year, and Canada is about 300,000, and compared to Australia, it's merely about 190,000, almost about 200,000. So what does it really tell us? Now, would the 1 million quota provided by US is actually easier for people to actually migrate to? The answer is actually no. What would the 300,000 compared to the around 190,000 of between Canada and Australia? What actually meant Canadian law is actually more easier for skilled migrant to actually migrate? Well, the answer would be no as well. So how would it actually tailor? Some people see the news and well, it's not the viewers error, but there are agencies out there. Obviously, they want to get more sales. So if they want to get more sales, they wanted to make some sort of very fancy title to attract clients or customers to come to them. So there is a misunderstanding, and every time, especially at this point in time, we're at the end of the June, only a couple of days to go, then we'll hit 1st July, and 1st July is a new financial year of Australia. It's always the date that they will provide new policies. For instance, there will be a huge change coming up on 1st July and all the way towards the end of this year. A lot of change will come, and some of them looks quite better policies, and obviously a bit more quota allocated, for example, compared to the employment sponsored visa for this year or the coming financial year and the current year. There's actually more. So does that mean migrate to Australia is easier? Well, the answer is no as well. So we need to get this right. Some people actually go into the migration planning level page, and obviously you will start comparing numbers by numbers. But again, from the historical data, well, not just Australia, most of the English-speaking countries, US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, if we compare back 10-20 years ago, the actual policy and regulation is actually harder than the previous. So in the game of migration, it's always easier, and the earlier that you migrate, the better your status will be. But how do we know about all this? But this is also a change of law as well, and also the change of society and technology. Especially, I recall back 20 years ago when I first finished my uni and migrate. Back then, if you're looking into the university, I was studying information technology. Back then, there was not much of elective to choose. Nowadays, well, there was information system, information technology, software engineer. Not nothing to change. And back then, there wasn't even IELTS test. Can you imagine? And then we still go through skill migration. And nowadays, there are so many different majors that you can pick in ICT. And there are so many other occupation that you can pick. And there are so many levels difference of English proficiency required to go through as well. But you see, the harder the requirements are, does not really mean less people wanted to come as well, because we all grow. We continue to grow. I mean, 20 years ago, there wasn't even technology like this live streaming back then. There wasn't even smartphone back then. There wasn't even all this technology all around us. But we have all learned through and coming onto what we are today. So again, obviously, the law will morph towards the new regulation, new society, new community. It's a more of multinational, multicultural society nowadays as well. So people learn a lot more stuff. We're more advanced, more skilled compared to people back 10, 20 years ago. So again, what the message I want to tell is that even if we look at all these stats and numbers, it does provide us some reference to what we may seek for or what we may aim for, but it does not equate to where the skill requirement is actually less or more. And also, there's also competition coming in. If we're going back 20 years ago, there are not many people wanted to come to Australia as well. But nowadays, in the Northern Hemisphere, the troubles in Europe, the troubles in Asia regions, Asia, Indo regions, people want to come to Australia. Obviously, then the competition grow, and obviously the requirement bumps up. So back then, perhaps the point test was only required 60 points. They move up to 65, and then 70 and 75, 85. 90 and all the way up to 100 points. So it's all coming as a result of the skill competition as well. So anyway, what my message is, don't just look at the numbers, but really compare to what the policy and focus on what is actually there right now. And that's why we have created this channel with all these thousands of video to actually make it transparent, so you can make an intuitive choice and decision on how you can move on and move into whatever the migration pathway that you seek for. Anyway, should you have more questions, query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.